I am and where I continue to go and where I will continue to go is an insane work ethic. You can only put in that amount of work if you were doing something that you are. That's what I have engaged my entire life's work in. You cannot fully commit to something if you're not passionate about it. So you must look at your surroundings, at the things you're involved in, and ask yourself, are you truly passionate about these things? Are you truly...
Here's an organization called BASIC, which stands for Brothers and Sisters in Christ. And this is a college organization that has groups of college students that...
You want your being into these things, and I am blessed, truly blessed by something. I am not sure what it is, but I am blessed that I was able to find my passions. These avenues that the fight game has opened up for me, I'm going down them at 100 miles an hour with no brakes and full confidence in what lies ahead, and great things are happening. So I'm very blessed and very motivated still. I have gone through times in my young career of lapses in motivation and seeking that energy, but you know, I'm not supposed to be here. Where I come from, it's like it's on my whiskey proper number 12. I come from a place, Dublin, hard-working town, a small little suburb. It has its good and it has plenty of bad, but I always like to focus on the good because the good shines through. Where I come from, we're not supposed to climb to these heights. We're told that. It's instilled in us. Take that mold and pave the way, open up paths. Like driving on them towards them building sites, and I'm just a young kid pushing building sites to the guy that goes to make the tea, to the guy that goes and gets the copper pipe from the storehouse and carries it up. It's the hard work that's not respected and not admired. Or I was on them building sites cold and damp, and I was like looking around at fully qualified people on the site and their postures not right. That was not me. You know, I knew I could do something better. I knew I had something in me. I was training for the fight game, but no one in Ireland made it in the fight game. An Irishman in the UFC was literally, and I've been literally laughed at. We were laughed at when I said we were going to get to the UFC. Myself and my team were going to get to the UFC. Never mind get a win. Never mind even get a win in the UFC. Then win a belt. Then win the second belt. You know, I just use all that fuel that I'm not supposed to do it, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to now work everyone that says I cannot do it, and that's what I did, and that's how I rose up, and long may it continue. So my sister, when I was a young kid at around 15 years of age, unsure where I was going, came to me with a book, Secret, and preaching the law of attraction. I wasn't interested, I was almost laughing at it. But then she kept on me with it, and I eventually watched a movie on it and read some books on it. And then it started to resonate with me, like to keep positive. I have belief in where you're going, and you're able to, you can almost visually create your entire world. Not almost, you actually can. I'm going to do that, and I will do that. And then that's when I began to practice it. I practiced it. I used to drive, my girlfriend used to drive to a food place in like a shopping mall in Ireland, and it was a very busy shopping mall. And I would practice like little parts of it. Like when we were driving into the shopping mall, the car park, I would always visualize that the car park space right at the front door would be empty for me, waiting for us to pull up. And sometimes I get it, and sometimes I wouldn't get it. You know, but when I got it, I celebrated like I just won my double world title. You know, and I kept building on that, and I got better at it, and I became so damn good at it that I was able to go into bouts against undefeated fighters with insane fighting legacies, and I was able to go in front of the world and tell the world and I'd take the football out and play on the grass patch on my own, and I would kick the ball against the wall, and when I kicked the ball against the wall, I would imagine it was a goal, and I scored a goal, and I would run off, and I would visualize a screaming arena cheering me on, and they were my first visions of selling out arenas and these type of things. Although it didn't end up in the football game, I ended up in a similar one, so it all worked out, and it was all true visualization. So I was just a young kid with a dream and a belief in himself, and for many times I was laughed at and not believed in, but you know what? Nothing external can defeat the internal. The only thing that can take someone down or break you down is internal. Nothing external is strong enough. It's just about making sure your internal dialogue and your internal belief in yourself is strong enough that it can withstand the external. The external is there. You've got to accept it. You've got to embrace it. You've got to understand it and be aware of it. But don't let it seep into your internal dialogue. I don't know it all. I'm up and down and growing with this. I'm trying to continue to learn. It's a daily occurrence. Not to let that external infiltrate my internal. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, because I have let it infiltrate it at times. Who am I? I know who I am. I am an Irish animal. A proper Irish animal. My career is a career of never been done before. No Irish man has done what I have done. I opened up pathways for my people. We came steaming through the door, thanks to my belief and my hard work. I put my people on, I put my nation on the map. Although we are known as the Fighting Irish, in boxing terms we have a rich history in boxing, but not in mixed martial arts. True fighting, a full fight. We had zero history, zero impact. We were almost looked down upon. The UK scene had risen up. There was many stars. Of course, the Brazilians, they invented the sport, Vale Tudo, no holds barred fighting. Then the Americans took it, franchised it into the UFC and built it up to what it was. So the Americans and the Brazilians dominated the sport, and then the UK was rising up, and the Irish were just the Irish. But I do different, no more. Exactly. Now my nation's flag is on the UFC belt. They released a new belt. I won the 2 belts. The first to ever done it. The first to ever, and still the only to ever do it unified. For so long, like in my mid to late 20s, when I started to acquire wealth and acquire money, I was fascinated with materialistic things. I would buy myself cars, watches, but I switched off of that now. It's like I realized I was spending things on material items and not things on myself, on my being, on my fitness, on my health. I've switched that completely. We've got to be in shape. I think a trait of the successful is to train early, wake up and train early. You've got to be in shape. Yes. You got to be in shape physically to be in shape mentally. Yes. They go hand in hand. Yes. So I'm putting a lot more time into that, and I actually realized it first when I read it on LeBron James. He spent $1.5 million a year annually on himself. Physical therapist, masseuse, nutritionist, trainers, all of that. And you know what? When I see that, I said, I spent zero. I just, when a camp forms, when a fight forms, I'll gather a team of people. We go into the Vegas desert, lock ourselves away for 10 weeks, and do insanity work. If I'm training back at home during camp, I have fighters locked in a hotel room waiting on call to be called and to come and fight me. It's an insane game, but it's not all in again. I'll go back to that term. It's halfway in, and then you can't be that way, and you said you cannot be that way in the fight game, but in reality you can't be that way in any game you're in. If you're in the game, make sure you're in it all the way, all in with it, and then that game will be your game, and that's where I am right now. And I've only kind of taken this philosophy, lack of motivation, dips in commitment. Ali was one of my first heroes in combat sport. I watched documentaries on him, I read books on him, but even before I engaged in combat sport, I was interested in the wrestling side of things, which is a lot more show. And then obviously Muhammad Ali was a different animal because he was doing it for real. Wrestling's not really for real, you know what I mean? But Muhammad Ali was doing it for real, and he was captivating the audience, he was entertaining, and he had passion and conviction. And I was just a young kid watching this, and then what got me into combat sport originally was as I grew older and began venturing outside my home and outside my state. Again, like I said, Dublin 12, it's a wild out town. You've got to be able to fight. You've got to be able to defend yourself. So when I ventured out, conflict began there for that and be able for that. That's false toughness. The tough guy doesn't last in this real game. That's false. I look at the tough guy guys back then.
Yeah.
Where are they now?
Yeah.
They're not tough no more.
Yeah.
They're ain't tough in their mother's box room. You know what I'm saying? So, I was not necessarily a tough grown up, but I was a hard worker, and I was smart. That's what I was. And with me, toughness any day of the week. Week on Sunday. So I had to learn combat sport. I needed to learn martial arts, gain confidence in surroundings, and then rise up. And that's what I done.
These guys are
Coming up, I look at it's not trash talk to me, although it has in a way become that. I look at the opponent. I look, you know yourself to know others. That's a Bruce Lee quote. If you truly know yourself, you can know others. So I know what way I feel. I know what way that man feels. I know what I can say to push his buttons. I know what he's thinking. I know what he's afraid of. I know his worries, and I put them under the spotlight. I put them out there. I get them thinking about it. I made Jose Aldo an undefeated champion. He was 28 years of age at the time. I made him feel like he was an old man. When he was 28 years of age, I went in, I told him what shot I was going to knock him out, and I knocked him out with that shot. So it's all psychological, to be honest. You've got to be able to control your breathing and control your emotions in there. Again, like I said, sometimes I've been up and down on it. Sometimes I've riled up too much to it. I'm only young, Tony, I'm still learning the game.
Yeah.
And I don't claim to know it all. But what I do know, I know it damn well, and I'm continuing to learn and continuing to push on. And that's where I'm at now, so. More external doubt. I love it. Give it to me. Give me all that doubt. Tell me I can't do something. Tell me I'm not gonna cross over and make that jump into a completely new sport. Not only against some random guy, but the damn best. I'm very confident now, and my engine is keep building. As long as I keep on it and try and not slip and keep motivated. I think like your lack of commitment is almost an insult to the people who believe in you, and that's what I'm trying to tell myself. I said, there's people who believe in me, so that's what I'm telling myself right now, today. There's people that believe in me, and me having this half commitment, it's not what the fuck I am. It's not what my people. It's not what the people who believe in me deserve. And I want to give back to people who believe in me and give them that belief, and prove that belief correct. So that's where we're at now. Let's see where it goes. Let's. I have seen a man die in this game. I was ringside. I cornered a man who killed a man. A couple of days after that, the UFC wanted me to fly all over the United States of America to promote the next bout. And I was like, I can't do this. I need to get away. My head needs to be in the correct spot. It's a ruthless game. You have to be willing, because you can go in there, and when you come out, you're a different person. If I can describe it to people, it's like entering a car crash. You're going into a car crash. The shins are bare, the feet are bare. You can strike with the elbows, the knees. It's a vicious game, and you've got to be fully committed, and you've got to be willing to go all the way. And that's what I am, and that's what I have. I make correct decisions even in there, even in defeat. I know when if there is an out, it's time to get out. I know when to live to fight another day. So you have to be intelligent in there as well. Otherwise, you won't live to fight another day. And that's what happened in my last bout. I am humble in victory or defeat, no matter what. It's a sport at the end of the day. A gruesome sport, but it's a sport. So I respected. I was defeated on the night. All in is the term I like to use in my ventures. All in. We've got to be all in our ventures. I'm all in on my whiskey. I'm all in on my clothing, my fitness regime, the McGregor Pass program. I am all in on the fight game. I just want my worth. There's a lot of politics in the game. The fight game is full of sharks, but I'm the fucking whale. It's hard work. That's it. Hard fucking work. You put it in, you believe in it, you will succeed. And that's it. I am living proof. If you want to look at a man who has clawed his way, fought with every ounce of his being to get to where he is, you're looking at him right here. My family is a great family. I have a loving family. My mother, my father, my two sisters. But my lineage, the McGregor lineage, we are bled on the battlefield. You can trace my lineage back to the Highlands, where we fought invaders off of our land with our family sword, the claymores, wrapped in sheepskin, and I have it hanging on the banisters of my stairs, just to remind me of where I come from and who I am. We are warriors. We are fighters.
value from that speech. I actually started researching more because, obviously, I don't know, when certain things happen, you get this, how do I explain this? Well, I don't know if I'm speaking for every person, but when you see people accomplish great things, one of the things that I like to do is really study that individual and what can I take from it. We get to a place to where we see all the hard work that people do, and then was it this one or there's a dope mix that I think it was we see all the hard work that a lot of people do. And let's say, for instance, when it comes to mixed martial arts, the reason I say that is it's relatable because a lot of people have watched the fight this past weekend. Okay, and before I used to see things like, oh wow, like that's crazy, that when people accomplish certain things in the sports world, we automatically think that it's purely just physicality. Okay, but the thing that tripped me out the most, I'm just going to be honest with everybody, was no spoiler. What do you mean? What do you mean no spoiler? It's everywhere. Have you not watched the fight? The highlights is everywhere. It's less than like 30 seconds, I believe 30 seconds. Have you not seen the fight? I'm gonna have to the spoiler. Conor McGregor won. Watch it. It's literally on the Sports Center, ESPN, on Instagram. You can watch literally a clip. You can literally watch a clip of it and see what happened. Okay. Now coming into that fight, watch it. It's less than 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds. Literally, by the time I'm done explaining this, you could literally watch it on your cell phone. Go on Sports Center or go on ESPN and watch it. That's crazy. Literally, it's there. And I'm saying this to witness greatness. Okay? Literally, it's very simple. I'm tripping how you didn't see it. It went everywhere. But what I'm saying though is this: is coming into the fight, the person that I actually was going for was Cowboy. And the reason why I was going for Cowboy was because I know more about Cowboy's routines and things that he's done compared to Conor McGregor, right? So I had this confidence in my head, Cowboy is going to win it. And the reason being is because of the things that he was doing. I found out that when he lost his fight, and then he had his son, he went on a different type of mentality. He started going to intense sweat lodges, started microdosing, started to really expand his mindset, staying disconnected from the distractions, all these things, everything from dark therapy to everything, to be able to go and take multiple fights back to back to back without that much notice, takes a different type of mindset to have that. So, and then when you watch everything, if you watch in detail, the reason why I say let's not just watch things just to be entertained. Let's watch things to actually learn. And whatever you look for, you'll find. And just like Kobe Bryant said, because his life was basketball, he could literally find knowledge and keys and everything in his life that could pertain to basketball. That's how pastors could have just normal living life with their kids and stuff and be motivated and inspired for a sermon. Okay? So there's two different types of people that watch something like a fight like that. They watch it, they get entertained, cool, right? And there's another group that people that have this mentality of greatness within themselves, that think a lot bigger than what most people think, and this hunger to understand the mentality and the routines and the habits. And do you know how much money you would have to pay to just understand the routine of someone like Conor McGregor, right? Coming into, he was just chill the whole time. And then when everybody started posting that Tony Robbins was there, then it made sense. It made sense. If you listen to that podcast with or I think the After, when it talks about Conor McGregor and Tony Robbins, he says, yeah, Tony Robbins came and talked to him and taught him some stuff along with his team. And when they asked him to disclose what they talked about, he just got quiet. And then he said, well, he just taught us some things. That's it. And he kept it low key. There's something that's different from the conversations of not letting the external, bleed into your internal. Like, we have to learn how to control our internal. How do we control our internal? How can we control our doubts? And then if you listen to the podcast again, he says the reason why he has no doubts, okay, is because of all the actions that he does. It eradicates it. If you are on this session right now and you are having doubts about anything that has to do with your dreams and your goals, if you're having doubts of anything whatsoever, you have to take a deep look at self, right? Say, what actions are we not doing to eradicate that doubt? If you're playing basketball and you grinded the same way Kobe Bryant did, of course you would have that confidence that most people would think is arrogance. If you're over here and you're learning how to trade, and if you're spending times in the charts and you have not missed a session, and you're practicing and understanding the steps, understanding your trade strategy, risking 3%, twin trading, everything, etc., and through repetition, would you have any doubt to this? No, you wouldn't, because you're watching your account compound on a consistent basis, okay? So you wouldn't have any doubt to it. If you're building the business, you wouldn't have any doubt to being a chairman or a chairwoman if you're having calls every single day, events on a weekly basis, right? Having your, pretty much flow of leads coming in when it comes to social media, of people that you could help. You wouldn't have any doubt to it. But here's the thing. If you're still smoking and joking, if you're still drinking and, still broke and doing all these things, and I'm saying this out of a positive context, right? Doubt is going to be the winning thought, the winning belief, okay? Your internal will be the doubt because your external is seeping in through the lack of actions and consistency and the development of self. But if you're over here being this person that is personally growing every single day, not treating this like a hobby, but treating this like a professional entity. Now, a lot of people will think that you're crazy. The people that don't have that discipline will think that you're crazy. But it's okay. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. Instead of us trying to explain to change people, you can never change people through explanation. You can only change people through actions and behaviors. If you really listen to what I just said right there, it saves you a lot of energy. It saves you a lot of time. Because you realize all you can control is the output of the words that you say on top of just your actions. And then now it's like, well, not the words, but your actions, your output of your actions. And you literally could have people become disciplined and become changed by just your actions alone. How many people here have literally been focusing on fitness without telling anybody? But because of your results, because of your health, it's like people will ask you all the time about fitness, whether you like it or not. The same thing when it comes to business. The same thing. I bet you there's times where Alex Morton just wants to chill, just wants to vibe out. But people always come to him to ask him advice on their business and how to attain what he's attained, because his results speak for itself. So instead in 2020, have the clear mentality of who you are and exactly what you want to achieve with this stuff, and just go straight to savage mode. Don't let negativity or complaint come out of your mouth. Only have positivity and speak life into everything, okay? And have the actions on your day-to-day basis so progressive that doubt is just eradicated. If you're over here, wake up every morning, eating healthy, drinking a lot of water, doing a lot of personal and spiritual development, doing Wim Hof breathing techniques, doing cold plunges, doing all this type of stuff, and, affirming and all these things, and doing incantations, and on top out value on social media to express and to help and to serve, and you're building relationships, and you're also on the charts, and you're looking at your charts, and every single day is a structured routine the same way that your job is. We're looking at treating and you have it organized, and your job is more organized than your trading is, no wonder why you have more belief that you're going to be working the rest of your life than having more belief that you'll be trading the rest of your life. All it is just actions. And there's a reason why when certain individuals hit chairman or chairwoman or hit six figures trading, right? What happens is, if they don't get comfortable, they keep going and going and going and going because their habits are just consistent. It's repetitive. It's part of their DNA now. It's part of their paradigm. It is who they are. Does this make sense? Everybody follow me on this? Okay? When we explain too much, we're just showcasing that we don't know what the heck that we're doing. When we explain too much about our dreams and goals to everybody, right? Like over-explaining, it just shows insecurity. It just shows, how it's seeking validation. It just shows that. And then you have these savages that are just hustling, getting in the best shape of their life, physically, mentally, spiritually, and then just knocking out these charts and knocking out these goals. It's wild. It is completely wild. Now let's get into this. So yeah, if we study someone like Conor McGregor, see the way that he talks about, you can see the human, very interesting. Especially coming from the standpoint that I wasn't rooting for McGregor. Nothing against him. It's just how many of us root for certain individuals based off of just, it's cool. He's a trash talker. He looks dope. For real, like if you look, I was an interrogator for 6.5 years. The fact that this dude's ripped and has tats and has a mouth in terms of it's exciting, everybody will follow. Think about it. John Klashik. I'm not talking about NJ right now. I'm talking about what I'm talking about. So, almost lost my train of thought. So you see what I'm saying? Think about it. When everybody was following Golden State and the champions and all that type of stuff, where's the Golden State fans now? When you go into the whole Cavaliers and everybody that was following LeBron James and Cavaliers, where's the Cavaliers fans now? So I came into this literally sitting there, dude, I know a lot. I actually like Cowboy. I actually like the stuff that he does, and I was actually rooting for him. And when someone loses like that, that's when I'm like, okay, now I need to study both parties. I need to study how the other person won, what got them to where they're at. Okay? And then you could become a fan based off of their thought process. You could be a fan based off of their interviews and podcasts, because you're actually hearing about their life. So I kept New Zealand CAD the same way. I kept New Zealand NZD JPY, the same way. So if you ask me the question of answering whatever, that's solely up to you. All I do is I give the trade ideas. I'm never going to be that type of person that says, you got to enter now. Because what I'm doing is I'm not enabling, I'm showcasing. One of the most negative frequencies that there is protecting people. Trying to do everything for everyone. Yet, when you try to do everything for everyone, it doesn't do anything for them at all, whatsoever. So to ask yourself the question, did you get onto this retest here, or did you get onto this retest here? Did it hit your stop profit? It all depends, right? All these things come into as variables, okay? What I'm going to teach real quick is to see if there's any trade setups to show why we do what we do, okay? So let me make sure there's nothing that's happening right now at this moment, so we're not losing anything or missing on any opportunities. That's a good multiple retests on this, but if I'm looking at this, even just from right here in zone, wouldn't really want to risk that. It's still there. Okay, so for all the newcomers onto this channel, there's 3 steps when it comes to this strategy. Okay? 3 steps. It's very simple. 3 steps. Number 1 is you look at the H1 on the harmonic scanner. Step 2 is you track price. Step 3, you wait for a break, retest, and enter. Okay? So I'll give examples so you can see, price here, no matter what, it would, there was no, I think we took this one. Let me show one that's actually, alright, as a good example. I'll just use this as an example. Okay? I've noticed, who here has noticed this? Right, I just want to get the general consensus. Has anyone noticed that within the past 2 weeks, price has been really choppy? And has everyone noticed that during the time frame of the holidays, price was moving? Has anyone noticed that?
You're listening to Anjuna Beats Worldwide.
Because it's stop profit. If I remove something, it's because it hit stop profit or it hit stop loss. Right? So, has anyone noticed that at all? Has anyone noticed that for some reason during the holidays is when price was actually moving pretty good? And now it's not moving as good as it was during the holiday season. Anybody notice that? Awesome. And that's a good thing. So if anyone's like, why isn't that working for me? No, it's not the fact it's not working. It's the price is not moving anywhere. We're on the same page. The price is choppy, you stay away from it. When price is smooth, people ask me, why didn't you do these ones here? I said, because that's not the strategy. The strategy is you're looking for the place of high resistance and... Actually, I messed up. You got me on this one. Let me reset. I rushed this one. So, check this out. I'm going to show you something. When price made a level of resistance here, right? It then made a new level of support. Alright? When it made new level of support, it made a new level of resistance, which is a ceiling. Then down here, it made a new level of support. So then you had this level of... Try to move this. Oh, this move. No. There you go. You had a new level of resistance here. And the way that price was, it was closing underneath it, it was closing underneath it, and it was closing underneath it. There should be no reason for entry. What happened was it made a newer level of resistance. Okay? A newer level of resistance. So when it made that newer level of resistance, what you do is you adapt to the situation and you now draw that level of resistance. Does this make sense? So here was the resistance and here was the support. The support became resistance, easy short position, drops. All of a sudden this is your level of a floor, this is your level of a ceiling. Multiple times it closed underneath, no retest for a buy, and then made this new level of resistance here, as you can see. So if you're looking at the piece of this entire piece, to make it more clean cut, watch this. And it's going to take repetition to really understand this, okay? This is the reason why, in the same way that for basketball players, football players may be, the repetition in this game of their trading is strong on the charts. You can still see here now when price made, if you drew resistance here, it's like, okay, well, there's a new one here and there's a new one here. Now what happens is when you had this level of a floor and this newest level of resistance, you can see how price is pretty much underneath it within structure. Price ends up breaking that structure, doing a retest to be able to get an entry to anywhere within these levels. The reason why I started to notice this is because I was always on the charts. Now the scanner, what the scanner does, it's like a little cheat sheet. It's giving you the opportunity to be able to get it a trade before the trend starts. Now that doesn't mean that just because it says buy here on this what is this, shark pattern, right? To buy it. No, it means to look at it, trap price to where it's at, wait for a break and retest to enter. Because price could have broke this floor and became a ceiling and dropped, and he could still enter that. But if price broke the ceiling here and became a floor, on top of the zones and the level of resistance, the level of a ceiling now becoming a floor, and it called for a buy, it's just added confirmation. Does this make sense? How do I notice which pairs to mark up? It's very simple, right? This is how you notice which pairs to mark up. If you're looking at USD CAD, look at this closely. Where's the real level of resistance, and where's the level of support? If you're being very structured with this, the level of a ceiling is up here, right? And the level of a floor is down here. And everyone's asked, well, what do you mean? If I drew resistance or a ceiling anywhere here, it just wouldn't feel clean. If I drew anywhere here, with price still having level of support floor here, it wouldn't look clean. What you're doing is you're looking at the most cleanest perspective of structure that you could find. Okay? Does everybody see that? Just making sure. If you look closely, does this look more clean than trying to force it all anywhere else? Just want to see if everybody's following so far. A high level of a ceiling, right? There's all these levels of a floor here, but do you see how right on this floor, where there once was a ceiling here, price broke, ceiling became floor, easy entry for a buy. Nothing ever broke this level of a floor yet. This is the closest level. And the fact that this once was a previous ceiling, okay, was a ceiling, as a floor, and then still the floor. There was one structure of how this was a ceiling. This became a floor. You can see, even when you draw the box, you see how price has bounced above it. There's no messiness to it. Now, if I try doing that anywhere else, let's say, if I drew this level of here, you see that I'm like trying to force something to take place. And then all of a sudden, it goes up, you press buy, and it goes up and then it just drops because it's a level of a ceiling here, right? Let's say I drew this over here and drew this as a level of a floor. Even if I drew this as the level of the floor, you can still see, well, what about here? Like, it's still a sense of like questions. Does this make sense? So, and that's what a lot of people don't like to do. They don't like to make the real. And the reason why this one's a good setup, because you can literally see where the ceiling, closest level ceiling is, and where the closest level of a floor is. Yeah, you see these levels here, but the fact that it has retested multiple times gives me more confirmation. The more of a consolidation that price is in, the more I'm going to say that is a good level to track price. Because it's testing multiple times. It's testing the ceiling multiple times. It's testing the floor multiple times, which showcases that the floor is strong and showcases that the ceiling is strong. Does this make sense? Now, if it was just like before, I didn't want to enter this before because like, I don't know, it's just here, you know, still levels of a floor down here. But the fact that price went up, came down, went up, came down, now going back up, it's just massive consolidation to point like, you know what, that's fine. The example I could use is like right here. You can see a level of a ceiling, you can see a level of a floor. Test to the downside, broke, boom, retest, drop. Does this make sense? And you could get that feeling, you know, like, I don't know about this. So your CAD will be one that we'll call out. Now, look at this one. This is literally your odd. Remember, just because we're looking at the charts on the H1 does not mean for us to enter, it means for us to look at it. If we wanted to draw the level of a ceiling, it would just be, okay, we have this high level here, but it still looks kind of weird. So would it be here? wait, would it be here? You see, if there's too many questions like that, it's just better to stay away from it. The most clear part about this entire thing, well, not even about this entire thing, even right here, like draw, just still like, it's still a level of messiness. Like, it's just, we have no idea. And if you feel like, I don't know about this, follow your intuition and don't trade it at all. Like this one, I follow my intuition. I don't know, for some reason I said I don't want to trade it. I don't know, right? And yeah, I missed out on entry, but I follow my intuition. Whether I missed a trade or I don't, it's always healthier to trust your intuition. Now, if you're looking at this one on Gold Cup for USD JPY, I want you to see how I drew this out. You see how I drew the level of resistance here and the level of support here. How I drew the level of a ceiling here. I drew the level of floor, and it's pretty crystal clear. Alright? What most people would do is they put a floor here and a ceiling, but it's just like, nah, I don't want to risk that. And you could, like I said, you have to trust your intuition. Okay? Hopefully everybody's following this so far. So for USD JPY, instead of drawing it here, I just said, you know what, boom, boom, and leave it as it is. For Euro NZD, even with this, like, yes, I could technically trap price to where it's at, and technically, you know, just have a level of a floor and have a level of a ceiling, and that looks clean if I'm just looking at it from this perspective. Look how choppy it is over here. It's just like, ugh. Now if it was clean, like this downtrend, fine, but just I just need this to get out of here. Either to break this level of support, break this level, and just get out of there. It's just too messy for me. And I've noticed that when I didn't follow my intuition, I try to force things, is when everything went bad. Same with this one. I could easily trap price to where it's at right now. We could try to force some trades out, but it's just not worth it. And every time I force trades out, like I said, I just kept putting myself in a position to where I was hurting my own account. I was just ignoring it. You see how if I draw this here, it just looks like I'm cutting into all these candles, right? Look at this. If I draw a zone from here to here, right? And I draw a zone from here to here. It's like, it kind of looks messy, right? Looks choppy. But if I switch it up and I draw the level from up here, right? And I draw it to this to down here, you see what just happened. What's going on here? Let's do this. So I draw the level from there to right here. You can see the difference of drawing out the zones. This looks a lot more clean now. Whereas like, alright, well, level of a ceiling here, level of a floor here. Simple as that. Simple. Whereas when we cut into all this choppiness, it's just too chaotic. Even for here. If I draw out this level of, let's say, resistance here, and I draw this level of support here, you know, before I'd be like, yeah, this is good. This is really good, you know. But the way that I feel is I'm cutting into candles. It's just like, I don't really want to risk that. Every time I risk that, I would always get hurt every single time. So what I decided to do to protect my account and to trade professionally is, even though it might not happen until later on, right, to put myself into a position to where everything is just clear. No questions. Everything is just clear. I'm not questioning myself. Instead of having that zone up there, I said, alright, well, let me take this, let me move this, draw this zone from here to here. You saw it from what it was before, and you saw it to now. Now it's just like, yes, we understand that price is farther and ranging up and down, but you see how it's really in between these two boxes. Did everybody see that? Powerful. But does everybody see this? How just by this alone, so just don't. But here's the thing, this is gonna happen. It's like, oh well, I want to trade now. I want to get into this now. I'm like, well, patience is key with this, because later on, this is in your arsenal. So while you're looking at 1 or 2 trades right now, and then later on, 2 weeks later or a week and a half later, price is here, and it breaks and goes, does a retest, and you buy it, and you got this piece as it moves up. And I was like, how do you know? Or if it drops all the way below here, breaks this level of support, does a retest, and just tanks. They're like, how did you know? Like, oh, these are, like, how do you know that trade was possible? I said, that's in my arsenal. Here, even with this one, I could take this, right? And I could trap price to where it's at. And if I actually draw the level of support to where it's at, I don't know what I just did. Oh, that's not what I wanted. But even with this, for some reason, the level of resistance is kind of clear to me. But drawing this level of support, I'm like, okay, cool, I could draw this. Let's say even if I draw the zones, right? If I draw this level of resistance up here, this ceiling box, then it feels clear there. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm not worried about that. If it breaks that area, then does a retest, fine, I'll buy it. But here, for some reason, I'm like, okay, well, I use this as my level of support, but was this my level of support, or was this my level of support, or was this, like, what is it? It's not crystal clear yet. So it's just like, just stay away from it. Even something as subtle, as simple as that. This one here, if I do this level of resistance, level of support here, it's still cutting through candles. I don't know if it's this, like, it's just no. Right? And we've seen trades what happens when it actually looks really clean and really good. Like right here, no. You're cutting through all these candles, right? Look at this. You would cut through all these candles. It doesn't look good. But what if you're like right over here? You see the difference here. Look at this. You had a level of resistance here. Look how clean this is. This is what we're waiting for. Right? This is literally what we're waiting for. Literally what you're waiting for.
You're tuned to Anjuna Beats Worldwide.
And you only draw it when, and then make it clear, and then like wait for the next, and then just leave it at that, you know? Right? Look at this. Look how crystal clear being patient does for you. Boom, you have a level of resistance zone. You have a level of a ceiling zone. You have a level of a floor zone, right? Let me draw this one here too. Fix this. The only problem that we have is ourselves when you force things to happen that don't need to be forced. Look how clean that is. Ceiling, floor, break the floor, come in, close underneath, boom, enter, sell, floor, boom, comes in, touch, boom, sell, awesome. I could have made a floor here, but then I'm forcing. I could have made a floor here, but there's a floor, like, that'll be forcing it. The one that looked crystal clear, right, was price having this floor here, touching as a ceiling, and then dropping. And then here, there's a level of support here, you can see it. I can just tell by that wick that if you look in the 15, that is true. right? Why is it doing that? No. I don't know why it's glitching right now. I don't know. But they usually should click up. But like, yeah, you can see how this floor here, if I draw this black line, it actually touches here, and then now there's a level of a ceiling and a level of floor here, and then break, and then like it just uses the same thing over and over again. But does everybody see how crystal clear this is right here? Clean entries, clean setups, literally no worries. You want to talk about getting your peace? All we're waiting is for a currency pair just to do this. That's it. And when it does the reverse, ceiling becoming floor, continue. That's all it is. But if you look at from where this is, how easy how trending that is to where it is now, you see how crazy it is? Look how simple it is, and then look how crazy it got. Even from here, you can see floor, ceiling, floor, ceiling, like floor, ceiling, just from here. Here it's just messiness. Everybody see this? You're missing the point. I never said any currency pairs that I really recommend to trade. I'm explaining the fact of the difference between a trending market and a non-trending market. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? The simplicity, floor, ceiling, floor, ceiling, floor, ceiling. See, I could tell from questions if there's a lack of patience or the sense of urgency. If we have that coming into the charts, we'll fail every single time. Because that just means you're just trying to hurry up and get rich real quick, hurry up and get money real quick, when the whole point is to understand the art of this. This right here alone could change your entire life. Floor, ceiling, floor, ceiling, floor, ceiling, floor, ceiling, ceiling becomes floor, continuing on, and then just messiness and cutting through Canada. It's not clear anymore. So now this just saved you from trading anything that doesn't look smooth. This looks smooth. This does not. This looks smooth. This does not. Stay away from it. Does this make sense? If you're new, go through the basics, please, because we can't. For all the people that have been coming on here for a while, like, they understand that this is pretty much the advanced series and everything. So, from the USD CAD, we have that set up right there. I think the one that we're focusing on was EuroCAD. So we'll draw this up. I'll draw this up onto Pricetrap and I'll send it out. And yeah, I think that's literally the only one that we're focusing on. Yeah. So, I'll mark it up. Did everybody have a good London session? Awesome. So I'll mark that up into Pricetrap. I'll send it out. When it starts to not look smooth, just get the heck away from it. If it does not look clean, get away from it. If it looks choppy and messy, get away from it. It's like you have intuition of vibes of people. Oh man, this is such a bad vibe. Well, get away from it. Oh man, this is such a toxic friendship. That's your body saying, get rid of it. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't be eating this. Well, I shouldn't be eating this. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't be watching this. Well, maybe then just don't watch it, Like, you have this intuition, and it's inside of every single person, yet we choose to ignore it. And the first thought is always usually the right one, saying, I don't feel right about this. And the second and third thoughts is like convincing yourself to do it, I don't know what I think about NJ. I drew it up on the charts. It's not about what I think, it's about what's drawn, okay? So, I don't know. I'm not looking at NZDCHF. All right, everybody have a good. Sometimes people are really missing the point of this whole entire teachings. Like maybe sometimes we could just I say for the first 30 days, unless it's something very practical with like percentages wise, compounding, all that type of stuff, just observe and listen, you know? Because it's like, you get so caught up, like, if someone has a question during the time frame of things are being broken down, that just showcases that no one was paying attention. That person wasn't paying attention the whole time because they had a question ready this whole time. They missed the whole point. So I'll draw this up on probably